Wow, this is some of the best Flash animation I've seen in my years. But the story, ugh, we've got some kinks to work out. Hello everyone, Hezu here! I finally got around to watching Tangled the series after all this time. I told you I'd get to it. I thought I'd share my thoughts after finishing it. I know I'm a little late to the bandwagon, but better late than never. Spoiler alert! Warning, this video contains spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, this video is not for you. Number 1, songs. Let's start off easy for point number 1, the songs. A lot of the movie's songs were iconic. In the series, some are, well, not. The ironic thing is, my favorite song in this series is Buddy, a bromance sung between Eugene and his best friend Lance after they get really, really high.
Who cares if people think it's strange? You're my best buddy, but don't ever change.
Another good song is Ready As I'll Ever Be. Now this song is really important in explaining why other songs in the series, surprisingly important ones, are not that great. And it all comes down to tone.
I'll make them hear me. They can trust me. Three lines in the sand and a moment's at hand. And I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
The drumming pace is fast, the strings are dramatic, and you really feel the weight in the characters' words. This is important. No one knows what is going to happen in this coming fight. It's a good song, and a brilliant way to show passage of time through a song montage. However, in later songs, just here, listen to this.
Suddenly you lose your way and lose the thread. Lose your cool, then lose your head.
Lost your nerve, you lost the game. But you and I, we're not the same.
You've lost your grip and lost your mind. All's not lost, don't be so blind. Cut your losses, drop the I refuse.
That's how you'd envision this song's montage looking, right? Yeah, no, this is what it looks like.
I only want my rightful due.
Listen, please.
It sounds like a freaking 80s high school prom slow dance song. Not a song about an ex-villain conversing with another villain surrounded by deadly rocks that could kill or overpower him at any moment? Still don't believe me? Take this song moment at the start of season 3. Cassandra betrays Rapunzel and takes control of the moon rocks. She's extremely powerful and dangerous, taking up an unbreakable sword and fleeing from the princess. The song that ensues has the same tonal dissonance problem. To give you a proper perspective, I'm going to use Let My People Go from The Prince of Egypt by DreamWorks in comparison. Ready? Go.
This has to stop now. Whatever it is that you're going through, we'll fix it together, me and you, just like we've always done. No, this has to stop now. This thing where you think that you've been my friend and don't even hear how you condescend the way you've always done.
Once I called you brother. Once I thought the chance to make you laugh was all I ever wanted. And even now, I wish that God had chose another. Serving as your foe on his behalf is the last thing that I wanted.
Cassandra, listen. I'm listening. I know it isn't true, isn't it? Just look into my eyes now. I know you feel it too. Perhaps I do.
You who I called brother, how could you have come to hate me so? Is this what you wanted? And never mind how high the cost may grow, this will still be so. I will never let your people go.
I'm crossing the line, and I'm done holding back. So look out, clear the track, it's my turn. I'm taking what's mine.
This is storytelling with a great song. This, not so much. Cassandra just runs away singing like Rapunzel didn't wish her happy birthday or something weird. It's too happy. There's no intensity or feeling of true despair or worry in it. In The Prince of Egypt, alongside the intense rising voices of the chorus, the action on screen matches the rage, patience, disappointment, and broken bonds between the two brothers. It's an all-out war these two are fighting, and you feel every emotion behind everything happening on screen and with musical cues. The series is capable of other tones, like the reverse incantation was spot on.
And this destiny, break these earthly chains and set the spirit free, the spirit free.
And Cass's Waiting in the Wings song was good.
I'll shed no tears, I'll only keep on waiting. If no one cheers, well, I can't keep on waiting. Who cares how loud the silence rings?
And then there are some moments where we could do without song at all. Varian's father is literally on a time limit, potentially about to die. And Varian claims he will get help from Rapunzel. I expected a really fast running montage of him crying through harsh snow, panic the only thing guiding him. But no, we get legit an entire song about how he wants to prove himself to his father?
I will make you proud. I will make you have faith in me. I will save the day and come back here triumphantly. 'Cause I long for that look of surprise when you see your son rising at last.
Varian, sweetie, you can't prove shit if your dad is dead. This would be more appropriate if he was trying to prove himself after having a fight with his dad, not literally running to a far kingdom for help. And again, it sounds like an 80s ballad. This is not the right genre. This is not the right tone and context. This isn't even the right time for a song. It's very jarring when you come across it. Number 2, filler. I have never quite seen filler like this before. Filler is usually a standalone episode or small arc that has nothing to do with the main plot. It usually delves into side characters, world building, or strange one-shots. Now, there are those types of episodes in this series. There's episode Way of the Willow, where Rapunzel gets a weird hippie aunt that doesn't really fit into the series. The episode where Rapunzel's parents lose their memory and receive extremely strange characterizations. Queen Ariana is a wild, free spirit that is completely different from what we're led to believe in comparison to the movie. And King Frederick is some weird shut-in who likes to collect eggs? And they have literally nothing in common. All their dates have not gone anywhere. But suddenly they're like, actually, I think I'm in love? Is that how that works? That doesn't sound like that's how that works. I mean, okay, fine. Maybe opposites attract. Cute, but eggs? Really? They had an episode exploring Pascal's backstory, and I did some research and found out iguanas are not naturally found in Germany. So there's probably some nefarious illegal exotic pet scandal going on behind the scenes, and I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see that. I mean, Disney claims Corona is a fictional place, so I guess it's none of my business, but anyway. There's also the odd time travel episode, the weird Flynn Rider doppelganger episode, Cass and Rapunzel bickering episodes. I mean, take your pick. There are plenty. But where it gets weird are the episode arcs that legitimately feel like unimportant filler, but aren't. Weird monkey no one cares about, tells the future or whatever, and you're like, huh? Oh, it's just filler. Skip. Then halfway down the season, the writers are like, psych! These episodes were important all along! The monkey is an important character! And you're like, huh? There's a Rapunzel memory loss episode that really has no bearing. I guess it's supposed to be a Cass and Rapunzel interaction episode, but like the one that changed Rapunzel's memory is used later on to change her parents' memory. And not only is that plotline weird, but it's also drawn out a little too long as well. It's not even like an object of great significance. It's just some tool of a lost empire that wants to overthrow Corona, and all that's left is like a tiny gang that wouldn't have really gotten to where they were without Varian's help. It's kind of pathetic, really. And then there's the Seashell Palace.
Let's play a game where the floor is lava.
A few episodes later, surprise, the floor is actual lava. And then there's the weird island of racist leaves. Guess what? They end up finding the captain residing on it later. Like, hey, these filler episodes don't actually have to hold any bearing. We don't have to return to these places, you know? You've got a lot of cool plot lines at your fingertips here. We could go down these paths too, you know? To shake things up a little. There's also small scenes in important episodes that are just huge time wasters. Like in season 3, episode 19. All they need to do is grab a book and leave. But Lance is like, ooh, shiny button. And then Monkey's like, ooh, shiny book. And then it's just monkeys and buttons, monkeys and buttons, monkeys and buttons and buttons. And guys, do we need this unnecessary action scene? I don't think we do. And then there's the dimensional portal. This happened in the same episode, by the way. This is like the season finale. Hey, let's take precautions so nothing bad happens in the future. Okay, I took precautions and they were successful. Awesome. Uh-oh, looks like the portal is opened anyway. Darn it. The writers don't know what to do with this influx of characters, so they just shove them in another dimension to wait while the main characters finish their story. Legit, they just sit around and sing songs until they're saved. It's pretty pathetic. Yeah, the filler for this series is a bit weird. Number 3, rating change. Granted, this is a Disney show, but let it be known that Tangled the series has felt like a MPAA downgrade. The movie and show claim they're both PG, but the movie feels more like it's PG-13, and the series feels like it's more for PG 7-year-olds. In the movie, criminals at the Ugly Duckling admitted to murder. Eugene was going to be hanged, and he was also straight up stabbed and murdered by Gothel, and then Gothel herself was tripped out of a tower and turned to ash before she hit the ground. And yet, the series doesn't really feel like it would ever allow such horrible injuries or tragedies to really happen to anyone. Not that I'm asking anyone to be killed off, but the series definitely feels more lighthearted and silly rather than be serious.
Who's the man? You're the man.
I think this reunion is off to a great start. We're finding common ground, exchanging stories. I just might win him over yet.
You know, I can hear what you're saying.
Rapunzel, what's up?
Even King Edmund, the last generation of powerful conquerors of the Dark Kingdom, is played off as just some dumb old dork in the end. It's kind of unsatisfying to have no tension in this series. It's especially sad when you can tell they're trying, but they don't really have the guts to go where the movie went.
Now look what you've done, Rapunzel. Oh, don't worry, dear. Our secret will die with him.
Make up the point. Rapunzel!
Cass! Cass! No! Cassandra!
Oh!
Somebody! Oh!
He needs some milk!
Characters. Rapunzel is is Mary Sue. She's too perfect, good at everything she does. In the movie, she was a smart person. She charted stars and read books and had talents in many areas, but I felt like she was more of an artistic generalist, not really a scientist. During a science fair competition to give Rapunzel something to do, she just goes around trying to invent something, and it just feels really forced. She tries to invent a yo-yo and calls it a hey-hey, which is a running gag, but it's not really funny. It's just weird. That's not really her area of expertise. She's stealing Varian's spotlight. They even involve her in battles and amazing feats, and she succeeds at almost all of them. Let her be bad at things, and let her be mad at things. She doesn't have to be one-dimensional. Cassandra. Cass got the spotlight with Rapunzel too much. A lot of their conflicts or bonding sort of repeated after a while too. You see, Cassandra is a Slytherin-like person. She has ambition, high goals, she likes danger and glory, and prefers solitude and privacy. Yet in season 1 and half of season 2, she's actually pretty sweet and fun.
So what do we want to do here? Maybe a bob? How about some layers?
Just cut it!
If we leave now, we can be back in 2 weeks. Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Please stop looking at me like that.
Rapunzel is her best friend because Cassandra is the only one who can put up with her, but she's also upfront with her. Rapunzel has been lied to her entire life, and Cassandra is always honest about how she feels, even if it may hurt others. Rapunzel found relief knowing she can always get the truth from Cass no matter what. With that in mind, I respect it. Cass opens up around Rapunzel. Cass gives up her dreams and goals in favor of staying with Rapunzel, and Rapunzel does the same. Their relationship is heavily made out to be that of sisterhood. Granted, the relationship is constantly back and forth, which I guess in a way could be sibling rivalry. Some of it is repetitive, but other times it's endearing. Throughout 2 whole seasons, they trust each other and stay friends no matter the odds. But near the end of season 2, Cassandra just seems to do a 180 and turns into a bad person. This personality change makes Cassandra's betrayal in season 3 all the more bizarre. And don't worry, I'ma get to it. Oh, Eugene. Oof, big oof, my guy. This poor man has been demoted to a side character. He's got nothing to do. You don't have to remove Cassandra from the story. Eugene just needed to be utilized more. He was such a prominent, important character to Rapunzel in the movie, but in the series, he's been replaced by Cass. Even Eugene himself frequently admits he has nothing to do. He originally started teaching lessons in thievery psych at the Royal Guardsman training site. Then much later on, he becomes the new Royal Guardsman chief himself. In between that, he's being chased by an ex-girlfriend and her dad. He finds his own dad and learns about its heritage and stuff. Otherwise, he's just sort of there to say, I support you, Rapunzel, instead of truly making a huge difference in the story, especially in season 1. Cassandra is Rapunzel's maid-in-waiting, so she's always at her side and all, but funny thing is, Cass always feels like she's second best or always cast aside for someone else. The irony of the situation is, she's doing that exact same thing to Eugene. I mean, she's practically stolen his girlfriend.
Oh, wow. Oh, this fruit is kinda...
Kinda what, Raps?
Nothing. It's just,
I'm sorry. Just what?
it's delicious.
Eugene's family heritage was a waste of potential. Get this, he's the son of Edmund, Royal Prince Horace of the Dark Kingdom, a kingdom of which, opposite to Corona, the holder of the Moonstone Opal. If Edmund had not sent his kingdom away, Eugene would have been next in line to inherit the throne. The Moonstone and Sundrop, however, are said to be opposites, and Cassandra is built to embody the opposite of Rapunzel than Eugene. It's sort of a Sailor Moon situation here, with Sailor Moon, Tuxedo Mask, aka Earth, and Sailor Moon but evil. Only thing is, Tuxedo Mask is just some dude with no power.
So come on, hit me with the very best shot you've got.
Eugene doesn't have much importance to the overall story. I think he should have had more to do with the Moonstone arc than just being a supportive spouse character who sat watching on the sidelines. Edmund, king of the Dark Kingdom. Okay, can we call it something else, please? Kingdom Umbra? Crescent Kingdom? This is too important to be called something so distastefully simplistic. Anyhow, in regards to the Crescent Kingdom, its king is a loser. He comes from a line of powerful royalty that protected the Moonstone for centuries. He realizes how dangerous the Moonstone really is and attempts to destroy it, only to fail. He sends his son away, and then, like, decades later, he's like, "Oh, you're my son. I totally recognize you by your eyes." And we're like, huh? And then he goes on to explain that he had his crows watch over Eugene ever since he was a baby, and even had the Flynn Rider posters plastered in the kingdom walls, and we're like, huh? I think you missed the memo that your son was going to be hanged. Where the hell were you for that, huh? And he's like, "Oh, my ravens lost track of you." I mean, he's your son. Did you not panic? Did you think he could handle himself? You could have messaged the Brotherhood to keep an eye out in their travels for him. He's a lost prince of an ancient kingdom. Like, come on, you got money. Whatever, moving on. Edmund is first introduced to be a somewhat quirky, introverted, but extremely powerful, fearsome warrior who lost his wife and precious son. A few episodes later, though, the Moonstone is stolen, and he has this weird bonding episode with Eugene, and he's like, "Son, let's go fishing and watch as I bumble through everyday life like a dingus."
Horace, there is the most spectacular display of miniature ball-like thingy-doos on the ground. Come quickly!
Rabbit pellets. Those are rabbit pellets.
Goodness me, I brought the wrong bag. This is my sack of Lucky Charms. My son thinks me a fool. Just wait until I reveal the figgy pudding in my pocket. That will change his tune.
He's like an immovable boulder who nearly cut off Eugene's head and flung all of Rapunzel's friends across a throne room, but in this episode, he's turned into a wimp and gets captured by the Stabbingtons? What? I mean, bonding over the Flynn Rider tale was cute, but Edmund doesn't really get anything to do after this. Even the Brotherhood seems disjointed. Like father, like son, becoming a side character. Varian, through his father's bloodline, has heralded ties to not only the Brotherhood, but the Crescent Kingdom. If the kingdom still existed, he would be part of a noble family. Varian had great similarities to Demanitus's genius, and I thought that he might have a bigger part in the overall storyline aside from basically becoming a translator. He even invents a weapon designed to subdue the rocks, but it gets destroyed really quickly. But he does save the kingdom from red rocks and makes a portal to stuff Santiri back into. My boy is all grown up. But you know, I wish there were more for him to do. He was a cool character, very manipulative and powerful, but at the end of the day, he's just a country kid who loved his dad and liked science. I wasn't part of the fandom during the series Insurgents, but I've seen my fair share of Moonstone Varian theories out there. See, he has this hair stripe. If you give a character a scar or a missing leg, that's visual storytelling. There's a backstory there. The audience usually wants to know eventually what happened, but this hair stripe? Never explained. Not even important, apparently. And the fact that he and Demanitus have so much in common, I mean, they're men of science. He's fascinated by this man's work. I mean, this guy could have been a mentor to him. I don't know, man. Varian deserves a place in the overall scheme of things. You threw him into the portal. He was a prominent villain in the first season, and now you deem him a side character? Why you gotta do my boy dirty like that? Speaking of side characters, here's an honorable mention. Lance. Lance was a fun character. He too was underutilized. I love Lance, but he's just comic relief, guys. I wish he were more. He doesn't really have his own arc or anything. He just has an episode or two with Eugene from their past, and that's about it. Can we have more flashbacks? Can he have the past come back to haunt and hunt him like it did Eugene? I mean, I think it'd be cool if his criminal past was explored more. When he's first introduced, it's played off like he'll become a sort of Robin Hood character at the end of his intro episode, but it never really happens or gets explored. The ending they gave him too was like, oh, he becomes a dad. What? He's been the group's man-child this whole time.
Don't worry. According to my calculations, we should just miss it. When will you people learn to ignore the things I say?
He acts so dumb sometimes. It's just weird and disappointing. I demand repentance for Lance's treatment. Robin Hood Lance. Robin Hood Lance. Robin Hood Lance. Okay, who else we got? Whatever. Hate you. You're cool. Alright. Don't think you fit into this series. Don't care. Wish there was more to you. Hang on, let's see. I'm forgetting something. Oh, Xantiri and Demanitus. Why is Demanitus a monkey? Monkeys live less than 35 years, and the baby was with Demanitus when he sealed away Xantiri, which allegedly was over 100 years ago. Is this monkey immortal? Why would Demanitus seal himself away in a monkey, knowing he would be trapped in one forever, unable to control it? That's dumb. He can also predict the future, so, I mean, couldn't he have predicted that being a monkey is a bad idea? Couldn't he have interacted with Varian or something? I mean, again, they're men of science. They could have come up with something else, made like a robotic body for him or something. And why does Demanitus care so much about Corona? Can we have more flashbacks, please? And Xantiri choosing the form as a little girl is also a little weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the expressions these model directors and storyboarders were pushing, but this great, terrifying form isn't even shown in real flashbacks. She takes on the form of an ugly old lady. Were she and Demanitus a thing? How did she accumulate a form like that? Or did she only take it on when she went into the portal? I feel like we have some plot holes here if that's the case. Vigor apparently was originally a scrapped character intended for the movie, but he sort of spoiled the story too early on, hinting that Eugene would die and Rapunzel was the Sundrop flower, so he was removed. Reviving him for the series is one thing, but turning him into Demanitus is another. Throughout the series, we're told of these ancient beings of great power, but when they show up, it's like a kid and a monkey. The audience isn't even shocked. We're just mortified and confused. These weren't flattering debuts, just weird plot twists. I just don't think these really work. Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at the topic of the hour. The good betrayal versus the bad betrayal. All right, folks, time to address the elephant in the room. Cassandra. What the fuck? There are two betrayal plot twist villains in this show, Varian and Cassandra. Varian's betrayal makes sense despite being contextually strange. Varian, a member of Rapunzel's kingdom and acquaintance she sought help with in regards to her hair, makes it known that black rocks pose a threat to his village. Rapunzel tells him to keep it a secret and that they will deal with them later. Rapunzel wastes an entire season screwing around with her aunt, Eugene's shenanigans, a science fair, a fighting challenge that doesn't even seem up her alley, more bickering with Cassandra, and kingdom pranks instead of dealing with an extremely real and dangerous threat that Varian deducts is clearly after her and is wrecking up the kingdom in its wake the longer she ignores it. King Frederick has forbidden her to speak of magic or the rocks, but since when did that stop her? She never said she'd abide by her father's wishes, especially if she knew the rocks were hurting people. After several warnings, Varian comes to the conclusion that Rapunzel is unreliable and dumb, so Varian decides he should find a way to destroy these rocks himself. His father comes in and accidentally gets stuck in his experiment. Varian panics, realizing his father very well could die. He believes Rapunzel is the only one who can help him. After traveling afar with a very inappropriately timed song to boot, Varian begs for the help of the princess. However, Rapunzel is in a predicament and cannot spare her time to help him. Varian becomes distressed by this and is kicked out of the castle. Funny thing, Rapunzel didn't even bother considering the fact that Varian, the alchemist, had major similarities and abilities compared to that scientist that built that giant weather machine under Corona. He could have gotten it operational or made another one and might have been able to deter the storm. I mean, sure, he hasn't had a ton of luck with his inventions, but like, you got nothing else to lose. What's the harm in asking him? She's just like, sorry, I'm sending you back into that giant blizzard and you're gonna have to watch your dad suffer and probably die. Rapunzel is the villain here because of her negligence. It's just so dumb. Varian doesn't deserve this. And imagine this, guys. There's been a tsunami. The weather is horrible and dangerous. You can't find your parents and you have to take care of your siblings at home. Your friend comes to you and pleads for help that their father is dying, but your hands are tied and you refuse them. When your parents come home safe and sound, what do? A. Reunite with your parents, getting them situated before running off to check on your friend and see if you can still help them. Or B. Stay at home with your family without contacting that friend at all for days, if not weeks on end. Yeah. guess what Rapunzel does? Varian has to contact her again to get her attention and let her know he still needs her help. Meanwhile, her father is like, everything is fine. There's no need to check on these rocks or your friend. Don't worry about it. And Rapunzel naively just takes his word for it? What the frick? Hey Dad, I'm gonna check on my friend to make sure they're okay. Oh, don't worry about that. I asked the police to go check in on them and they said they're fine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna still go check on my friend right now, myself, because that's what a normal person does. Bye-bye. Anyway, Rapunzel finally sees the consequences of her actions and apologizes to Varian. Varian pretends it's okay and tells her that he found info on a scroll that could lead to a cure for the rocks threatening his village. He poisons the kingdom with truth serum to find out where the remnants of the Sundrop flower are located and tricks Rapunzel into helping him. Rapunzel is shocked and appalled at his tactics, despite knowing full well she and the king himself have neglected the rocks, if not refused to acknowledge their existence, so of course Varian can't trust the government. They're a bunch of lazy liars. Rapunzel knows full well where Varian lives, and she or the kingdom guards can go retrieve it from him if they think he's too dangerous to have it, but they don't do anything. Funny thing is, the flower is dead. The Sundrop is now Rapunzel. Again, instead of sneaking out and going to check in on Varian like a friend should, Rapunzel just sits around and mopes. Varian sends robots to retrieve her but fails. Varian then decides to kidnap the queen to get Rapunzel and the king to finally grace his home and free his father. His father was the only person who really cared about him. The kingdom's back has turned on his village. And the cherry on top? He fails to save his father. His last grip on sanity snaps and he gives into rage and attempts to kill everyone for revenge. In the end, despite being yet a child, he is locked away in the dungeons of Corona. Like, hey, maybe don't do that? Rapunzel, you could have enlisted him as the royal alchemist so he can do his research on behalf of the kingdom under surveillance? So it gives him something to do instead of boiling with the need for revenge and justice? This is a good villain plot. If it weren't for Rapunzel's neglect to further enlist Varian's help, then he wouldn't have turned evil. He went to her for help over 4 times, and each time she never did anything. Hell, they didn't even check on him in episode 1, where his water tanks explode and the entire village shuns him. They just straight up left? If there was any interaction, it just happens off screen. Cass was the only one to ensure he was unharmed. Rapunzel was an awful friend to Varian. His villainy is justified. Cassandra, however, aha, ha 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 ha, hee hee, hoo hoo, aha, Cassandra.
Huh?
What are you doing? You have to go get that flag if this job means so much to you.
There's something else that means a lot more.
What do you say you help me clean my room, huh? Some weird princess made a mess of it.
I am so lucky to have someone like you that I can trust and to help me adjust. I don't know what I would do here without you. You're a good friend, Cassandra.
Call me Cass, Your Highness.
Only if you call me Rapunzel.
What, no hug?
Cass, I couldn't have asked for a better person to be chained to.
Me neither.
Stuff I'm not ready to share, but when I am ready, you'll be the first person I go to. Trust me.
Okay, I trust you.
What?
Nothing! Nothing at all.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you too.
You used the last egg on me? No, but that means you can't... No. Oh, Raps. You're my best friend. Oh, please, don't leave me. Raps! Oh.
Pascal?
Raps! No, please!
That was unexpected.
Oh, you're okay. I'm sorry, Raps. I'm supposed to protect you.
Watch out! Gotta watch that flank. I have to do this. No! Cass, go!
You heard her! Let's go! No, I'm not leaving her. Raps, please let go.
Best day ever!
But Raps, I won't always be mad at you. I'll get over it. That's what friends do.
Now more than ever, we must stick together, united. What in the world would I do without you?
Without you.
Without you.
Light, please.
Not now, darling. Mummy's in a hurry.
That's my
Mother.
You know, these last few months haven't been easy for us. I want to thank you for everything. Cassandra? What are you doing?
I tried to warn you, Rapunzel. You have to be careful who you trust.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What did I just watch? I love you, Rapunzel. You're my best friend. Psych! I'm evil now. Be careful who you trust, Rapunzel. I trusted you. Well, you shouldn't have. Okay, but why are you doing this? Because I'm Gothel's daughter. So I'm evil now. That's not how that works. Didn't Gothel abandon you? I thought the captain raised you. She abandoned me because of you. I could have had a mother. After hearing the stories of how she treated me and the fact that she stabbed and killed Eugene, you really want her as a mother? Well, You saw firsthand where she kept me, and for so long without contact. Not to mention, you erased my memory and saw how manic I was outside of my tower. You realize without me, your mother would have died of old age anyway, right? That doesn't matter. I won't wait any longer. Wait for what? Huh? What are you waiting for exactly? I don't understand. We came here to neutralize the dangerous rocks. You know, I could very well die or lose all my power. What, were you jealous of my hair? I was willingly going to sacrifice it. We'd be equals again. I'll have my own kingdom. I'll be powerful. You saw firsthand what princesshood entails. That's something you really want for yourself? A kingdom with no subjects, no less? What is your goal here, Cass? I'm following my destiny. And what's your destiny? To become the owner of the Moonstone and the Sunstone. They're meant to be mine because a floating child told me so. You didn't really think this through, did you? I really didn't. Cassandra's sympathy for Gothel is so weird. I mean, as a kid, it's understandable, but she didn't even remember that Gothel was her mother until Zontiri showed it to her. Gothel didn't raise her, the captain did. Cassandra is really good at picking up other people's intentions, and after hearing this...
Oh, watch your step, pal. That's where I died.
And this...
Mother told me to watch out for those. And quicksand, snapping turtles, molten lava, poison ivy.
Puppets, guys on stilts, the plague, riptide.
And this...
Oh, Cassandra, won't you be a dear and sweep a little quieter?
Well, that's typical Gothel right there.
What do you mean?
She wasn't exactly the nurturing type.
How could she sympathize with Gothel? What the hell? Also, who was Cassandra's blood father? Rapunzel had a use, but Cassandra didn't. Why the heck did Gothel have a child? Gothel was one of Zontiri's followers, but it's not further explored what she did, or even why, or how she came under the servitude of this being. Gothel didn't want Rapunzel's power for anything other than keeping herself young. There's no evidence that Cassandra was born to have anything to do with the Moonstone at all. Cassandra is all, your destiny is mine, but Rapunzel's destiny was to neutralize the stones, and Gothel kept her to be youthful. Cassandra is doing the complete opposite of both of those. This would all make more sense if the evil god Zontiri was mind-controlling Cassandra, but they weren't. Zontiri just sort of manipulated her, and Cassandra was picking up on Zontiri's bullcrap and yet still wouldn't give up the Moonstone and go back to Rapunzel? Well, now that I think about it, she did. Let's talk about that now, shall we? The plot is so back and forth. This isn't the only arc where the series does this either, but it's driving me nuts. I don't want anything to do with you, Rapunzel, and screw your boyfriend. Wait, actually, I think I still like you.
Wait?
Actually, I hate you. I'm stealing the Moonstone in spite of you. What are you gonna do with it? I don't know. Goodbye forever. Actually, I don't know why I took the Moonstone.
You took it to kill Rapunzel.
What? No, I can't kill her. That gives me anxiety.
No, you're going to kill her because I said so.
Oh, okay. I hate you. Give me the scroll and I won't destroy or kill anyone. Actually, let's have a truce. You're right. Sympathizing with Gothel is dumb. Wait, you tricked me. Gothel did love me. I hate you. Wait, you tricked me. Gothel didn't love me. I hate you. I don't want Rapunzel to suffer. Rapunzel let her people defend themselves against me? Rapunzel and her entire kingdom must suffer.
No. No, I'm nothing like you. Just because I'm pursuing my destiny doesn't make me a bad person.
Doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Threatening people, giving everyone panic attacks and turning them into statues, accusing Rapunzel of murder that was actually self-defense, nearly crushing her friends, building a stronghold in the place where Rapunzel was held prisoner and mentally tortured for 18 years as if to say, that's the life she would have wanted, kidnapping Varian, kidnapping Pascal, harming Eugene and threatening to kill him, threatening to destroy an entire spire of priceless magical historical artifacts, threatening to kill the Spire Keeper and even attempts it, mind-controlling the Brotherhood and declaring war against Corona, leaving Rapunzel to die of poison gas, getting upset when people try to defend themselves against you, like a gaslighter, and destroying Rapunzel's castle and nearly killing her. Maybe, just maybe, that does indeed make you a bad person, Cassandra. Just a thought. In the end, Cassandra also, leaves? She pulls the Steven Universe, I don't know who I am or what I want to do, so I'm gonna take a gap year and wander around until I find a destiny. Why is this series so obsessed with destiny? The king's wife was sick, and it was his decision to pluck the flower. There's no destiny. These were decisions made by a multitude of people to get to this point. Cass found herself in the princess tournament. She found herself in the Varderos celebrations. And Eugene took over what would have been her position as chief of the royal guard. She might have later given up on that ideation, but still. She clearly doesn't want to be in anyone's shadow and wants to lead her own life. And she also didn't have much of a chance to explore the world as a child. I mean, I get that. But saying she doesn't know what her destiny is when she's clearly a warrior attracted to a good cause is just... Hey, I'm gonna go explore the Seven Kingdoms. Maybe challenge that queen to a battle for a little fun. I might stop by that town and participate in some festivities on my journey to the north. Might buy you a souvenir. Literally anything would have been better than I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing with my life. Bye. Steven Universe can do that because of his identity crisis. Cassandra does not have this. It honestly just felt like the writers needed an excuse to explain why Cass wasn't at Rapunzel and Eugene's wedding. Anyway, I realize I ramble. In summary, Rapunzel, you and the kingdom have rejected and ignored my pleas for help multiple times now. In order to save my father and my village, I must resort to kidnapping your mother and threatening you to get what I want, which ironically would benefit the both of us. But your head's so full of hair, you can't seem to see straight. So... Mommy liked you more than me, so I'm stealing the Moonstone to make you sad. They even try to set up parallels with Cass and Gothel from the movie.
You want me to be the bad guy? Fine. Now I'm the bad guy.
No! Cassandra! No. Eugene, they can't end this way.
The puppy part of my brain is like, oh, parallels! And the other is like, wow, that's sweet. If only she didn't try to murder you all.
How dare you stand where he stood?
Celestial lore. As mentioned, This series has a sun-moon celestial theme to it. It's very cool, but in the end, when the Sundrop and Moonstone fuse together, it just shoots off into a random location in space. Bye? I guess? Would have been cool to have a little more explanation, but I guess they want to keep it ambiguous. The Sundrop has 3 incantations, but the Moonstone only has 1? What's up with that? The Sundrop can heal, kill, and hold power. The Moonstone has the power incantation, but not the other 2, which I find weird. I mean, sure, Cass made Red Rocks of Fear, but she made those without an incantation, which is a bit disappointing. If the Sundrop has a negative, should the Moon Opal not have a positive?
Also, evil Rapunzel was underutilized. She's only used in 2 episodes and never seen again. Her introduction was so intense, it felt like it was going to be important, but it's only used to free captured people, which is really disappointing.
Zantiri and Demanitus need more context as to how they came across these stones and what power they intended to wield from them. Demanitus didn't have to be this filler monkey. The monkey didn't need importance. Even the betrayal warning wasn't necessary because they still tricked the audience into thinking it was Eugene and not Cassandra. Gothel supposedly served under Demanitus for a time before betraying him for Zantiri. But instead of having any big evil plans to save her master like the other 2, the only thing she used the Sundrop for is to make her youthful. The other 2 became powerful demonic ghosts, but she remained human and lived her daily life? Okay. Rapunzel charts stars and has significance to the sun. I'm not asking for aliens to be implemented into the series, I just think having more cosmic influence in the story would have been more interesting. Now, how do we fix it? So as I've stated, things are a bit neglected in this series.
I'd like to take this moment to imagine what could have been.
And it all centers around the Dark Crescent Kingdom. When Edmund shows up, he goes off about, "Oh yeah, we have an awesome, powerful warrior brotherhood, and you're my son. So you gotta protect the Moonstone now and tell your girlfriend to go away, alright? Okay, bye." Like, whoa. This is happening too fast. This could have been amazing. Why are we giving this plotline the short stick? Edmund shouldn't realize Eugene is his son until episodes down the line. He should be so much more relieved and happy finding his son again if his ravens lost track of him. We should have been given more flashbacks, especially with Eugene's mother. I think it would have been great to hear her story. The Crescent Kingdom should have been a line of conquerors, or people who use the Moonstone for its power, not just protected it. If something is powerful, those who surround it are often corrupted by it. Edmund fuses with the Moonstone like his father before him, only he comes to fear it and wants to break the cycle of inheritance to protect his son. Unable to willingly free himself from the power, he accidentally kills his wife, then sends his son and subjects away. We should get more hints throughout the show involving Eugene's inheritance, so this inheritance plotline doesn't seem to come out of nowhere and be so rushed. When Eugene finally encounters his dad and has a heart-to-heart, the man is driven to madness. He's possessive of the Moonstone, and they have to get it off of him somehow.
Maybe you're right. Maybe me coming back here is fulfilling my destiny, but what if my destiny is not to join you in this place, but rather it is to rescue you from it?
Edmund tells a tale about his wife, and how through the attempted destruction of the Moonstone, she was killed. He convinces Eugene the Moonstone is too dangerous to let Rapunzel touch it. Despite this worrying him, Eugene still thinks the guy is mad, and he and Cass manage to best him in battle. I have a firm belief that Eugene should have had the Moonstone at some point. How about we explore an alternative timeline where the Crescent Kingdom continues its tradition and Rapunzel meets a vicious Moonstone Eugene, Prince Horace of the Crescent Kingdom. Would have been awesome. I mean, just imagine. Remember the war between Corona and Saporia? Despite their differences and intentions, the 2 leaders end up falling in love. I think this would have been a wonderful opportunity to parallel this. Moonstone Horace and Sundrop Rapunzel AU? Very Romeo and Juliet. In the end, whatever happens, whether their kingdoms turn on them or if Horace dies, Rapunzel would get the time turner back and change things to how they were. Or if that's not how the time turner works, then just make it out to be a bad dream. Either way, this is highly worth exploring. However, in the real timeline, Cass should still snag the Moonstone, but not for her mother or Zantiri. She snags it to protect Rapunzel from what she believes to be a terrible fate. She knows the Moonstone brings madness to its user, leaving them susceptible to mind control from Xantiri. Or she knows that Rapunzel could very well die from this. But either way, that's precisely why Cassandra grabs it. She believes she is more strong-willed and won't be overcome by the Moonstone's power like Eugene will.
You know, Cass, if it makes you feel any better, when you grabbed the Moonstone before I could, there's a pretty good chance you saved my life. Well, we know that the Sundrop and Moonstone have to be reunited, but we still don't know what will happen when they actually are. And if you believe Adira, it could be really bad for whoever puts them together.
So Cassandra, feeling the need to protect her little sister, battles for the power of the Moonstone and loses herself.
Raps, whatever he thinks he's doing, he must be doing it for you.
Varian's hair stripe. You see that? Yeah, this suspicious-looking discolored stripe, this is never explained. If you give a character a scar, there's a story there. Look at the tire tracks on the road. There's a story there. It's visual storytelling. The theories for this guy were endless, and when the Moonstone cracked, I'm pretty sure the fandom went nuts. But no. It's not used for anything cool. It just revives Rapunzel's hair in a time of need. I'll be taking that, thank you, and give it to my boy Varian. Becoming a wielder of the power of the Moonstone explores his heritage. It explores a revival of the Lost Kingdom's inner circle. In the alternate timeline, and in this timeline, he becomes a prominent figure of the next gen of the Crescent Kingdom.
Score 1 for Team Awesome!
Yeah. Team Awesome.
Let's say we get him someplace more comfortable, huh?
Now, because it's such a tiny piece, I think he could resist the madness a little. He's always been weird about magic, so forcing it on him now to study would give him some character development. Watching him struggle between a caring friend to ex-villain mad scientist would be so fun. We could use this arc as an opportunity for the Brotherhood too. Their pasts and just exactly why they are so loyal to the Moonstone Opal and the Kingdom. But this would be Varian's chance to have a hand in stopping Cassandra, in reversing the effects of the Moonstone's madness. He could have been great. Eugene. Now, when it comes to Eugene, kicking him to the sidelines is the complete opposite of what I want to do. As a non-magic human, he would be outmatched. So we need to level the playing field. As I've mentioned, the celestial lore in this series has parallels to Sailor Moon. Eugene is sort of a Tuxedo Mask character. Tuxedo Mask does not have power like the Sailor Scouts, but he does aid them in battle. But the important thing to note is, he is the Earth Guardian. Adding a Sandstone or Earthstone to the mix as a balancer for the Moonstone and Sundrop could be overcrowded, however. I don't even know what power he could even use. Would it be like earthbending? Could he control sand grains? Could he control the weather? Would he boost the Sundrop's power by eclipsing the moon? Honestly, I'm not sure. If not a power, then at least a weapon to counter magic. He could have been given the Moon Sword to put up a fight against Cassandra at least. Oh, maybe Varian could even make him an Amber Gun or Amber Sword that would actually last and work on Cassandra and the rocks. That'd be cool. Eugene's revealed backstory and relationship to both Cass and Rapunzel is too significant to be overlooked or stolen by somebody else. If he's captain of the Royal Guard, then he needs power to make a difference. Pick your poison, people. You've got 3 choices. Because sad house husband with a sword shouldn't be one of them. Well, that's about all I have to say that frustrated me about the series. Why don't we end on a positive note, though? Things I liked. Again, animation, drop dead gorgeous, especially using 2D models that usually present limitations to visual capability. They handled that really well. Character design was great, wonderful shapes and colors. They even got freckles, eye shape, and teeth shapes in there too. And they make the characters all the more diverse and cool looking. World building was good. Some of it was a tad bit odd, but most of it was well done. We got lore, we got kingdoms, we've got magic and science and new characters and backstories, all very intriguing and fun to explore. The tower falling scene was extremely powerful. Eugene revealed to be a lost prince and becoming captain of the Royal Guard was pretty cool. Cassandra's character and origins had merit. Some character interactions were very endearing. And I'm always a sucker for dark possession tropes. Giving the king and queen more personality and interactions with their daughter was good to see.
Dorky boy Varian stole my heart.
And as far as the series goes, and continuing from a 3D movie, this is pretty damn good. It's probably one of the best TV show adaptations out there. So, if you haven't watched the series already, then I'd say give it a watch. Despite some flaws or weirdness, it's a good time. Entertaining, colorful, and does justice to the original. Tangled the series gets a thumbs up and a 7.5 out of 10 from me. Well, it's the end of the video! Thank you to all my Patreons for supporting the making of this video. If you'd like to check me out on other sites, links are in the description. In the meantime, I hope you're all safe and well. You know what to do, and have a great day! Love y'all! Bye-bye!